What up, everybody? It's me, Blake316, here with a new video for you guys, and I cannot believe it. It's come to the time and point where we're finally talking about PlayStation 5, fanboys, man. It's crazy. Like, we're talking about the PlayStation 5, and more importantly, PlayStation 5 fanboys. And already, the thing ain't even out yet, and they're already off to a crazy start. Now, let's first talk about this PlayStation 5. As a lot of people may know, if you do not know, Sony officially announced that the PlayStation 5 will be released in 2020 holiday season. That's next year. That's pretty crazy that this PlayStation 5 is already coming out. My personal opinion, I wish Sony would have took a risk and totally renamed the console something different, not necessarily keep going with the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 theme. But I guess it's the safe marketing tactic, because obviously 5 is always bigger and better than 4. So if it's a newbie to the market, they're gonna say, "Oh, 5 is better than 4, so let's buy 5." Where, like, Nintendo, for example, made the mistake of, say, going with the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U. The market can't really tell if that's a new system or if it's more powerful, etc. You understand what I'm saying? They're going with the higher number to let people know that it's more powerful. So I guess that's pretty safe, right? But me personally, I think Sony's in a nice space where they can take a little bit more risk. I would have liked the new name for the PlayStation. What is it going to be? PlayStation 8 eventually? Like, it kind of sucks. I think they're going to do it eventually. I wish they just did it now. But anyway, the PlayStation 5 has been announced, and these Sony fanboys, bro, I really wonder about you guys. Like, when did you start gaming? When did you become a fan of Sony? Like, because if you were a fan of Sony since day one, you would know that Sony doesn't really have great history with console launches. Let me explain. For example, do you remember the PlayStation 2 console launch? The game had no games. It was a terrible launch lineup, and it took some time for some decent games to come out. That people actually had some games to play. Yeah, the system sold well because, I mean, it was the PlayStation 2, 128-bit console with a DVD player included, coming off the success of the original PlayStation. But let's continue on to the PlayStation 3, another console that had terrible launch games. I mean, for years, the only game they had in the first few years of the PlayStation 3 was Heavenly Sword. Other than that, it was a really slow launch. Let's go on to the PlayStation 4, another console that had a terrible launch. They literally had Last of Us Remastered and maybe Battlefield, was it 4 at the time? Because it looked really good on the console. But other than that, it was another slow launch as far as titles to be concerned. Now, you guys think that the PlayStation 5 is going to have some immediate success? No, I really don't think so. Like I said, the history shows that Sony is known for not having good releases. The only reason why Sony had any type of success with the beginning of PlayStation 4, because the Xbox One release was just terrible, where they were forcing people to buy the Kinect. But anyway, a lot of Sony fanboys think the PlayStation 5 is going to be a success right off the bat. That's not gonna happen, bro. Like, it's just Sony screws it up every time. And let's be honest here. What games are Sony gonna announce with this PlayStation 5? For example, I find this really funny, and it really just hit me. So the PlayStation 5 is coming out in 2020, but you're releasing The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020, but for the PlayStation 4? What type of sense does that make? For me personally, it makes no sense. But Sony fanboys are now claiming that they want a bunch of remastered titles for the PlayStation 5. So you want a brand new, most powerful console, which is supposedly it's supposed to be, with a bunch of remastered titles? Huh? So you want Last of Us Part 2 remastered on the PlayStation 5. You want a Ghost of Tsushima remastered on the PlayStation 5 because you guys still want that released on the PlayStation 4. You guys want Red Dead Redemption 2 also to be released on the PlayStation 5, which would pretty much be a remastered. I even seen some people saying they want a Demon Souls remastered. You guys are comfortable buying, which is probably going to be a $500 console for a bunch of remastered games? That doesn't really make much sense to me, especially when you Sony fanboys are the same group of people who talk about how the Nintendo Switch is releasing nothing but remastered games, right? Like, let's be honest here. Who are you fooling? Not me, because I actually have a brain. I'm probably the smartest fucking gamer on YouTube. But let's continue how these Sony fanboys are like, already either being delusional or are just completely forgetting about what they say about this PlayStation 5. Yeah, it's going to be a powerful system. Sony always does that, right? But what is Sony really going to be offering? Another DualShock controller with a few minor upgrades in the triggers, a more powerful console, maybe some ray tracing, which I guarantee 90% of the people out there have no fucking clue what that even means. Maybe some better online features with better party chat. Maybe PlayStation N will not suck. Who knows? Maybe the downloads of games and installation of games might be a little bit better. But really, what makes you so confident that this PlayStation 5 is going to be such a huge success? Well, then again, maybe you're just hyping off the PlayStation 4 success. Let's be honest here. The PlayStation 4 sold a lot of consoles, but what really has been coming out, I don't know, in the past 2 years that it's been worth talking about? Let's be honest, the Nintendo Switch is killing it. Is the Nintendo Switch gonna have to do a completely new console? Will it be too late for the Pro? Probably. But guess what? By 2020, I bet you the Nintendo Switch is probably gonna be at, I don't know, 60 million sold, so it won't even matter. Let me tell you, Sony fanboy, something. It's real early, bro. Don't act crazy just because they announced the PlayStation 5 and a little bit of specs here and there. Because Sony's history shows they never launch with any games. And if you're hyped for a bunch of remasters, yeah, a bunch of frauds. Because Sony's gonna play you for the suckers that you are if you're gonna buy. You're really gonna buy The Last of Us Part 2 for some trash multiplayer, bruh? Yo, you're that type of kid that when I see in school, that I see in the street, I point at you and laugh because you a loser. I point at you and be like, ha, 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 ha. Look at that loser, bro. Look at him right there. Because that's what you're pretty much aiming to be. And they're so confident in Microsoft failing. Bruh, you really think like the history always proves that whatever happened in the last generation doesn't mean the same for this generation. 360, it was amazing. Like, with that same amount of success, you would have thought the Xbox One would have followed. It didn't. It didn't have a great generation. So what do you think the PlayStation 4, like, it's having a great generation? You think it's automatically going to have a great one in PlayStation 5? Look at Nintendo. The Wii U sucked. The Switch is killing it, bro. History is like showing that Sony might be in trouble. And Sony's always those cocky, arrogant, that company where they think like for example, the PlayStation 2, huge success. They thought they could charge an arm and a leg for the PlayStation 3. People are like, nah, bro, we ain't doing that. They're going to do the same with the PlayStation 5. And right now, just letting you know, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get beside yourself. Like, relax, bruh. See what the future holds. Stop getting hyped over the possibility of playing a bunch of remasters, you hypocrites. I'm telling you right now, you Sony fanboys, you PS5 fanboys, you better chill out. Don't get ahead of yourself and don't start acting crazy because it's too soon, bruh. It's too soon. I'm warning you. Take my word. Trust me. Anyway, it's me, Blake316 here with a new video. Let's give people a heads up. If you ain't know, these PlayStation 5 fanboys are ready to run rampant. They're about to start running crazy like they don't know what's up. But then again, you know, these PlayStation fanboys have always been kind of crazy, you know, kind of weird, some weird individuals out there. And it's always the ones who are like in denial. Like, nah, I'm not crazy. Nah, motherfucker, you really are. Anyway, subscribe.